So thanks, Karen, for the introduction. Yes, I'm currently working at Square as a senior strategic account manager. And that means our team works with the largest 250 accounts that are actually part of Square's customer list. So I work with larger customers, but I also have experience working with smaller businesses as well. Today, primarily what I'm going to share is more so about how to leverage Square for your business. So thank you, first of all, Ning, for just the informative information about kind of what's trending on the internet. And now we can take that information and make it a reality with Square, for example, here. So of course, since Ning showed a video, I feel like I have to show a video too. So I wanted to lead the presentation here with a video of Square Online Store, which is primarily what I'm going to be discussing today in terms of how to start an e-commerce business. Oops, sorry. Sorry, can everyone hear that?
No, we actually cannot hear anything. You want to
Okay.
No
worries, we can just watch it. It's okay, it's totally okay. I think if you just get a sense of like what the video is about. But yeah, I think I'll just give some commentary as you're looking at this. But basically, the point of Square Online Store is so that you don't need a design experience, you don't need HTML coding experience. The whole point of Square Online Store is that you can use available templates for you and start an e-commerce website right away. And given the current climate with COVID-19, this is very, very important to have and make available for your customers.
还有杏仁饼吗？饼干。
Yeah. So with Square Online Store, it's really easy to set up. Everything that Square is known for really is the ease of use. So even if you don't have a technology background or you're not used to using traditional like technology tools, Square Online Store and Square in general is going to be an easy way to kind of get into the world of digital payments and commerce. So I'm going to start off by discussing Square's platform and ecosystem. So some context here is that Square has been in business since 2009, right? And we started off as a little white reader that you guys might recall from, being able to attach the reader, credit card reader to a phone, for example. And with your phone, it becomes an instantaneous payment terminal, right? So that's what Square started off as. But fast forward to 2020, we are effectively a commerce platform. So any sort of commerce that you want to do, whether that be in person, whether that be online, whether that be through a mobile app, that's all something you're able to leverage Square for. And then also, on top of that, you'll be able to leverage Square to connect to third-party systems. And I'll dive a little bit deeper into that. So I think the first thing is the end-to-end solution aspect. So because Square is unique in the sense that we are both a payment processor for credit cards, right? On top of that, we're also a point of sale company. So we have our own point of sale that you can leverage and get data from. And then we're able to bring those two areas together to give you rich data. So kind of what Nini was alluding to, data is so important to help you manage like how you want to handle the business, right? How you want to move forward with the business. So Square is able to capture customer data along with your sales data, put those two together to help inform you on how you want to expand your business. And then another aspect is compliance and security. So now that a lot of commerce is moving to online, you'll notice that scammers also like to use e-commerce as a way to, use fraudulent cards or fake cards. And so by leveraging Square, you're actually able to have a end-to-end encryption of the financial data before it even, before you even have access to it. That's how you keep out of scope of PCI compliance. So PCI is basically an industry standard, meaning if you were to handle financial data like credit card numbers, you would be responsible for making sure that data is secure. But by using Square, you don't have to do that on your own. Square does all of that for you. And this is basically a great insurance policy, if you want to think of it that way, because if you were ever found liable for any sort of financial mismanagement of people's data, that's a nightmare to handle. So this is peace of mind for you as long as you're using Square to handle any sort of payment, online, in person, mobile. And then beyond just payments and point of sale, we also handle employee management, customer relationship management, marketing, loyalty systems, inventory management, capital, and payroll. So there's so many things that Square does that helps to keep everything in under one platform for you to easily manage. Okay, so this is the platform approach and strategy. So obviously Square is known for payments. So that's our underlying foundational layer. And then on top of that, we have what we call primitives, but basically think of this as functionality. Functionality that you have access to within, for example, the point of sale. And then this functionality we actually make available in the layer of APIs and SDKs. So from these, if you have like a developer that you're working with, or you yourself are a developer, you're able to leverage a lot of these APIs and SDKs for any sort of third-party applications as well. And then, of course, Square uses our own APIs and our own primitives and our own payments layers to create first-party experiences for you. So we create all the front-end experiences. But then, like I said, you can leverage the same base layers to kind of create your own third-party system or connect into a third-party system. So whatever you have, whatever you currently use and you want functionality to work with Square, we can make that happen. And then, given what's happening right now with the global pandemic, it is even more important now to let your customers pay the way they like, right? And so a lot of customers they don't want to use their hands and touch anything. They want contactless, right? And so this is what Square does best. We enable contactless payments to happen. So whether that be from an e-commerce perspective or from a Apple Pay perspective or a Google Pay perspective, we have the tools to enable you to take basically cashless business if you ever wanted to do that. And it would be contactless as well. So this is great for kind of the COVID era that we're entering, just to be mindful of what your customers may want when they show up in store or online. And then the focal point today is Square Online Store, right? So I'm going to talk about kind of our e-commerce opportunity here and the importance of selling online. So first of all, how do you boost your sales with an omnichannel strategy? And let's define omnichannel because that's a common buzzword in the world of commerce today. But basically, an omnichannel strategy is providing a seamless shopping experience across any channel you want to sell. So I know that Josephine might touch on this a little bit more from a marketplace perspective, but basically anywhere you sell, you want to be able to kind of bring the experience together in its final form. So for example, a Harvard Business Review study found that omnichannel shoppers are more valuable than shoppers who only shop in store or online, but they're also more loyal. So basically the LTV of your customers, right, is better when you have both online and in store or any other channel on top of that. And then you also, with omnichannel, you can create a seamless shopping experience. So many retailers, or services or food and beverage merchants, they use multiple channels, but they aren't integrated across each other. So they may have a store, a physical store, a website, a mobile website or an app, and then social, but none of those channels are linked together. And I think this is what Square does best, is that we're able to bring all of these channels together under one place so that, back to the data point I was making, so that you have the right data in order to make the decisions that best fit your business in terms of growth. So then the next question is, how do you create that omnichannel experience? First is to create a consistent brand experience across channels. So branding is really important these days because that's a way to differentiate you from another business that's selling the exact same thing or the exact same service, right? How do you set yourself apart? How do you draw people's attention? So that's one thing to pay attention to. Second thing is to integrate and the buying and return experience. So having that kind of continuous cycle of, for example, me as a customer, if I go buy something online and I want to return it in store, it just goes to show to me as a customer that you as a business, you have visibility into your various channels. So that helps give me confidence, for example, of what you guys are doing, right? From a commerce perspective. And then market to customers based on their behaviors across touch points. So what that means is your e-commerce customers may have different tendencies or behaviors compared to your in-person customers. So you can then use that information to determine how you want to engage your customers from a online standpoint or an in-person standpoint. And then use your channels to push customers where you want them to be. So I kind of think of this more so as you know best which channel is most profitable for you, right? So it usually tends to be e-commerce because there's less overhead, right? You don't have to hire employees. You don't have to rent a space necessarily. So if you wanted to push a lot of your in-person customers today to online, this would be a great way to do that and to leverage the Square Online store in order to create that experience. And then now you can bring your in-store data and your online data together and then make decisions on how you want to grow and expand your business. So what Square does is we sync all your sales data, right, across in-store online orders, your items, your catalog, your inventory, gift cards, loyalty, and your customer data. And then we have a very easy to use web builder, right? It doesn't require any sort of design experience. It doesn't require any sort of coding experience. You're able to start a Square Online store in minutes, and you're able to leverage our eye-catching templates basically immediately. And then multi-location. So we support people with multiple locations, of course. And so if you ever wanted to give your customers a buy online and pick up in-store experience, or even buy online and deliver to you experience, we have the ability to leverage some of our courier services that we've integrated with to create that experience for your customers. Okay, now I'm going to touch a little bit about hardware. I think most people probably know Square for these things, so I'm going to move a little bit quicker here in this section. So this is our traditional point of sale, right? We have essentially a credit card terminal in a customer-facing display. And so you're able to obviously bring a customer up on the bigger screen, and then your customers will see what's being rung up on them, in the customer-facing display. We also actually leverage our loyalty system using the customer-facing display. So people are able to check in to your loyalty program, and every purchase that they make, whether it be online or in person, can go to that loyalty status and they can redeem goods with you. So that's always a good tool to leverage, especially in this time where competition is fierce with people who are selling essentially similar things to you. Mobile point of sale. So this actually leverages iPad and then our contactless chip card reader, and that allows you to be mobile and move around and be able to take payments anywhere on the run. So it's a great way to kind of leverage that. Especially I know events are kind of slow right now, but if you have line busting or people are waiting in line for a very long time, this is a great way to line bust. And then kiosks. So kiosks is starting to become a trend in commerce. Well, given COVID-19, it may actually slow this down a bit because people don't necessarily want to touch public screens anymore. But I guess alluding to a similar way of selling would be mobile applications, right? Because mobile apps live on the customer's devices themselves. And so customers are obviously comfortable touching their own devices. And so that would be a great way to engage your customers, especially if you're a food and beverage merchant, which you know, a lot of people I work with tend to do both. Actually, they do like retail and food and beverage. So this is a great way to kind of leverage technology to work with you. And then terminal point of sale. So this is probably our newest product or hardware product, I would say. Traditional like Verifone terminals that you're probably used to seeing, and just think of like the Ferrari version of that. Basically, it's like a nicer, better looking version of the terminal with a printer integrated into the device. So you're able to take Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. You're able to dip the credit card in there. You're able to swipe the credit card, and you're able to print a ticket receipt. So it's an all-in-one solution, and you still have access to your item catalog. And then another great thing about the terminal point of sale is we actually have what we call the terminal API that allows you then to connect into third-party point of sales. So if you don't want to leverage Square point of sale, you could actually still use our terminal device and connect into a third-party point of sale. So that would be a great way to kind of, you know, use maybe industry standard point of sales and still have the latest technology through our hardware. And in summary, I just want to remind everyone that Square, at the end of the day, is a platform. So we're no longer just a credit card company or credit card processing company. We're not just a point of sale company, but we're really a commerce platform. And so if you were to start with Square, you can obviously build with Square as you expand and grow your business, and bring all your channels together under one roof so that you can have rich data that helps inform how you want to grow your business. And then obviously you're going to be using the greatest and most up-to-date technology when you're using Square, and able to kind of increase your overall ROI and your marketing efforts to really engage your customers. Yeah, that's mainly it. I would say on the right-hand side is just to show you the scale of Square. So we have, you know, 65 billion processed last year. We have millions of active users within the US, UK, Australia, and Japan. And then we're going to grow more into Europe as well in the coming years. And then we actually have a very good net promoter score. So if you guys don't know what NPS is, basically it just means that people who have engaged with Square have a very positive experience with us, whether that be from a consumer or a merchant seller standpoint. And that's it.